This week on the podcast, let's talk about the Masters this week. We got the golf tournament happening. Scott's a big fan, so let's see if we can take some financial lessons from the Masters. Two-part series coming up. Let's get into it.
We've got some turbulence up ahead.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Wealthy Pilots podcast with Scott Osborn. My friend, how you doing this week? What's going on, brother?
Great, Mark. It's a great week to be alive. How about you?
I'm digging the shirt, man.
Well, I had to go with Masters theme edition. It's Masters week here, so I had to bust out the old Azalea one.
I like it. I'm always in black because I'm a fat guy, and it's easy to hide when you wear black.
I like it.
But you are the airline advisor. But maybe this week you're the golf master advisor. Are you a good golfer? You got a good game?
I'm better than some people, but I lose money all the time, and I would definitely not say I'm a good golfer. I enjoy it for sure. I enjoy watching and playing it, but I lose way more often than I win. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna have a little fun this week, and we're gonna talk about this because obviously you're a fan, and it's the month, right? So it's happening in April, and of course, we've shared before here on the podcast. We're in two different locations. I'm in the heart of Azalea country here in North Carolina, where we got them everywhere. Yeah, and where we do have some of the big golf. We just had the U.S. Open here this past summer or last summer. So good stuff. So let's get into it. And let's just kind of talk about some themes. I think you can kind of, sports is great for this, right? You can really do a lot of correlation between sports in general and finance, right? Yep. I mean, you can just the whole risk reward feature, let alone, right? You can spend hours on that, but kind of hit me with where you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think, a lot of the pilot clients I work with are golfers as well. And it's because, like pilots, golfers know that it takes a very intelligent person to golf. You know what I mean? And just,
as the saying goes, it's not you against, people will say, oh, it's you against the course. I think it's you against yourself.
Oh, well, and I'm going off of just what the studies show. I mean, just hey, and the pilots will tell you the same thing. Hey, I'm above average intelligence. I'm not being arrogant. It's just, it's what the data says, Mark. So, but no, in all seriousness, I mean, one of the biggest things that I think as you get better at the sport of golf and anybody who loves watching the Masters or watching golf at all, you'll see so much of it, very much like investing, is a lot of it is risk management. Mm-hmm. And so, when you see guys, emerging victoriously, mm-hmm. It's not because they've been trying to hit home runs all the time, trying to hit holes in one all the time. And I know you got a little story about this. So I want to hear about this hole in one story.
Yeah. So you're talking about obviously risk and reward, market. So we also get confidence, and overconfidence can definitely cause a problem when it comes to our financials, especially investing, right? Oh, yeah. When the market's been up the last number of years, every year, look at what we're going through right now, right? We just did a podcast about the downturn a little bit. It can't be 22% up every single year, right? We get kind of misled on that. We get kind of arrogant. So anyway, I played a round of golf with somebody a couple of years ago, and he, short par three was an early hole. I think it was the third hole of the course. He got a hole in one. I never saw one live in my life. I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. He got a hole in one. He was stoked, right? It was amazing. But I watched his demeanor change, and we were playing with an older couple at the time. We were in our 40s. These folks were in their 70s. We were paired up with an older couple, and the older couple, his wife, she destroyed us. She absolutely beat our brains in because she was consistent down the center of the fairway every time. My buddy got all confident because he made a hole in one, thought he figured out the game of golf, and he just had the worst round of his life, right? Yeah. So we overcompensated. And I thought it was an interesting lesson for me because I thought steady and consistent, kind of the tortoise and the hare wins the race.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the ladies at our course, I mean, they're probably not hitting the ball as far, but I mean, like you said, they're straight down the middle.
85, 90 yards down the center every time.
Totally, and it might not be as exciting to watch me flare one 180 yards out of bounds, but it's consistent, and they get good scores and everything. But yeah, I mean, I think, ultimately, what does that look like from an investing standpoint? I mean, I think it really comes down to how do we still take intelligent risk? Because again, we need to be getting some upside.
You got to outpace inflation.
Exactly. But what we see a lot is people trying to outperform the market on the upside. And I feel like that's really hard to do. You got to be trying to probably putting some Bitcoin or currencies, crypto into your portfolio. Not because you really believe in it, but just because you feel like it's some sort of
the FOMO, man.
Like,
I don't want to miss out. I got some FOMO going on.
You might be buying some individual stocks, or you might be looking back at historical track records and saying, let me look back and see the growth fund did 40% last year. I'm going to buy that. Knowing or not really thinking that now it's overvalued and it's about to go down and you bought it at a high. And then now it's down, reverting back to its statistical mean. And you're wondering, why am I always on the wrong side of this?
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then the other aspect of that is like avoiding losses. And so, we can avoid losses by not making some of those mistakes, by not chasing track records, by not trying to build a hand-picked portfolio out of stocks that are full of things that are popular in my mind that are not rooted in any data or philosophy. And then the other aspect of it would be just maybe taking a little bit of active risk management, right? I mean, if you can look and see, hey, we've had a couple of years of back-to-back, well
20
above,
plussers.
20 pluses. Is that a time to maybe dial it back a little bit? And then when the correction comes, turn it back up.
And to that point with that golf story of mine, right? As he was doing great third hole, but as his game got worse and he's losing, he started taking more chances, swinging harder, right? And he wound up just snowballing out of control and just a terrible round. And we do that with our finances.
And anybody who is, not to spend too much time on the golf topic, but anybody who's been really, really into it knows, like, hey, if you've had a couple bad holes, you can't go out there and say, well, I got to go get a couple birdies to make up for that. When you start trying to do that, you are no longer playing your game and you're about to have a really long day out there.
Very true. And I'm going to keep the analogy going, though, because it's the whole thing that we're doing right now anyway. So what I hear you saying is basically we need to have are you going out there as Happy Gilmore with 2 clubs? Are you hitting a driver and a putter, or are you going out with a full set, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of that diversification, proper portfolio allocation, all that. Yeah.
I mean, playing with a full set of clubs, right, is important, right? Each club has a different distance, and then, you get to the top and the bottom of the bag, and they're super important too, because they get, different kinds of wedges or putter or driver, woods, whatever. And
what kind of lift do you need or whatever? Yeah,
for sure. And so, if we look at like, what does that look like, inside of my portfolio? Man, one of the things I see a lot, I see this a lot, especially in our pilot community, a lot of guys coming to me with just holding the target date fund.
Well,
they've been in it it's been easy. It's more than anything, it's what the company gave me.
Yeah.
And I can tell you what my dad gave me with my first set of clubs was an old wood persimmon driver, a 5-iron, a 9-iron.
You probably wish you had it too, don't you?
I do have it.
Oh, do you? Awesome.
I should have brought it. It's in my garage. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
But I don't play with it. It's a souvenir at this point.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Or an heirloom, not a souvenir. But I mean, it's a beautiful looking club, but man, that is not playing with the best equipment that we can play with.
Yeah, no titanium shaft, no flex in the bending, no oversized head, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So if we look at, having just a target date fund, I would say you're probably not playing the game here with a full set of clubs. And that's something that we definitely want to look for, opportunities. And again, most of the airlines that we're working with, not all, but most will have a self-directed account, right? Where we can build you a custom portfolio that's based off of what you got going on. How close are you to retirement? How much risk are you willing to take? If your wife's an airline pilot, you can probably take a lot more risk inside of your portfolio because you have all that savings going on as well. If you're the sole provider and the sole provider of all retirement savings as well, you got to be a little bit more calculated and risk aware. Like, hey, I can't take as many, risks because we can't afford to lose here. Where if we got a whole other set of retirement savings or a government pension coming from a spouse or whatever the case is, we can build a custom portfolio to your custom plan. You're going to get results then that align with what you're trying to get accomplished versus I'll just take what the company gave me and call it good.
Yeah. I like it. Definitely. So I think the theme here on this first half, the first 9, right, is going to be, let's mitigate some risk, right? Let's make sure we got a proper tools in the tool belt, in the bag, right? And we're just not getting out of our comfort zone, not getting out of our game too much. Is that a fair analysis?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair analysis. And then I think the last part I would really say about that is like, when it comes to planning, and this goes for golf, this goes for investing, a lot of it comes from avoiding the trouble, right? So if you're on the first tee at my course, you got out of bounds all along the right side. And you do not want to start the round with all these people watching, blasting one out of bounds. Not a great way to start.
That would be me.
Yeah, I've done it plenty of times. Yeah. But so you got to take that, really that time to plan, to really go out and do your best. You got to take that time to plan your shots and avoid the trouble. My second born daughter, Victoria, is 16 and she's really getting into golf now. We're at the high school and everything. And a lot of what we talk about is even those approach shots. Like, hey, how do you not leave yourself short-sighted? How do you not, how do you avoid the trouble? Make sure you stay short enough of the water or hit it way over the water and just not hit the perfect shot. Don't plan for perfect. Don't plan for that shot that you're going to hit 1 out of every 100 times that we all think we hit. No, plan for your mistakes, plan how to avoid those mistakes, and don't try to hit shots that you can't hit just because you saw it on TV. And that's very something true. I think we can really read that across to our investments where, hey, how do we just look at a handful of super common mistakes and avoid those, avoid the trouble, and know that if I got a buddy that's talking to me about this stock that he made a killing on, he probably isn't bragging to me about all the stocks he got killed on either. And very true. You know what? If he happened to just make a killing on it and I'm going to go put a bunch of money in it, I already missed the upswing too. And so really, I mean, and just avoiding these troublesome mistakes is as much a tailwind to our success than trying to go make all the right decisions, if that makes sense. Yeah, no, for sure. You got to stay out of the hazards, man. It's just all there is to it. So we'll come back with part 2. So we'll jump out of here. We'll come back next week or in about 10 days or so with part 2 of our Masters conversation. We'll do the back 9, right? So I'm going to go get a hot dog at the turn right now, and then I'll see you here for the back 9. All right. I'm going to meet you at the beer cart, but we'll be back on the other side of the break. As always, if you need some help, reach out to Scott. We got the links below in the show description so you can get onto his calendar, have a conversation about your financial situation, especially if you work in this community, but he helps a lot of folks as well. So just, whatever, just reach out, talk to a qualified professional, get some help. Again, the links are down below in the thing. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. This is the Wealthy Pilots Podcast with Scott Osborn. We're on Apple, Spotify, and of course, YouTube. And support the channel, that thumbs up and notification bell so you catch new episodes, and we'll see you next time.
Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action.